Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to Wobble and Jaw Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you're a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Only 2 more weeks, 2 more rounds, and then it is all systems go. Just 2 more rounds of Origin affected rugby league, and it's finals conversations big time. Let's get stuck into round number 19 of the 2024 NRL season. Round 19 starts on Thursday from KO Stadium in Redcliffe. The Dolphins host South Sydney. The Dolphins are $1.63 favourites. South Sydney are $2.28 outsiders. That's a little bit big on South, but I guess looking at the team lists, it makes sense. Going into him now for the home side, the Dolphins. Trey Fuller is at fullback over Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. The halves is Nikorima and Kotoa. Tavita Pengai Jr. starts in jersey number 10, and Kenny Bromwich will play, I believe, game 250 this Thursday night. The interchange reads Kerr, Nichols, Stone, and Sean O'Sullivan in jersey 17. Meanwhile, for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Jai Gray will be the fullback, and Jack Whiten and Cody Walker remain in the halves. The forward pack now, Mawali, Cook and Kepi start, and Cheekham, Arrow and Kolomatangi are the back row. The interchange reads Mamazulis, Duncan, Burgess and LeBlanc. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, in my opinion, are more in form, but it is the Dolphins who are working with a more full strength 1-17 in this contest. The likes of a Jesse Bromwich and the Tavita Pengai Jr., their forward pack is a little more experienced. Kolomatangi has been having a revitalisation in 2024. Jack Whiten and Cody Walker versus Cody Nikorima and Isaiah Katoa is definitely going to be the matchup to look out for, the head-to-head. And Jai Gray is going to have to pull his socks up and do a fair bit of work, because Trey Fuller, we know how exciting he can be. It's actually more of a difficult game to tip than what I was anticipating, to be honest with you. Also, the fact that Jack Bostock is back in after an awful concussion he suffered a couple of weeks ago. Oh, this is hard. This is really hard. I think I'm going to go the Dolphins in this game 1-12. Whiten and Walker is what's making me second guess it, but ultimately, as I said, it is the Dolphins who are a little bit more full strength in the 1-17 overall than what South Sydney are. I thought at one stage there in the first half, I thought, oh, South Sydney might be having a bit of trouble here against the Parramatta Eels, but they ended up running away with it 13+. But in any event, not convinced, but I'm going to go the Dolphins here 1-12. Friday night football, there is only one game. It emanates from PointsBet Stadium. Cronulla versus Wests. The Sharkies are $1.46. The Tigers are $2.71. Obviously, the big team list news is Nicho Hynes' regular season is finished. It's something that he didn't deserve to have happen to him. Just awful news, and hope he has a swift recovery. For the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, Daniel Atkinson is now the 5'8". Braden Trindle is the halfback. That is the spot that Trindle wanted. He's got it now for the rest of the regular season, and Atkinson has been pretty effective whenever he's played for the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. The forward pack remains the same. The interchange reads Colquhoun, Hazelton, Rudolph and Braden Hamlin-Uele. Shifting into the West Tigers now, Lobb is going to be one of the wingers, Staines is the other, and Adam Dewey and Solomon Atape are the two centres. Galvin and Caesar remain as the halves pairing, and then that forward pack is as full strength as the West Tigers can get, with Bateman, Fainu and Pole being the back row. The interchange reads Mason, Fainu, Seyfarth and Ruben Porter. I so want to tip the Tigers in this game, eh? They scored 28 points against the Melbourne Storm last weekend, and this Cronulla Sharks side, I really don't want to give up hope on them. I really don't, but it's getting close. And now that Hines is out, it's absolutely panic stations at Cronulla, but we will see. They did defeat the Melbourne Storm without Hines off the top of the dome earlier on this season. I so want to tip the West Tigers here. They did defeat the Sharkies earlier on this season at Leichhardt, and this time last year there was an Origin-affected game between the two clubs, and the Tigers really gave the Sharks a run for their money. I'm going to tip the Cronulla Sharks. I'll play it safe, but whilst I'll be excited, it's probably not the right word, but I won't be surprised if the Tigers win this game. Super Saturday sees two contests, and match number 1 emanates from Seabus Super Stadium from 5:30 p.m. The Gold Coast versus the Parramatta Eels. Gold Coast $1.44, Eels $2.80. Going into the team list for the Gold Coast Titans now, Jaden Campbell returns and he will play in the 5/8 position. AJ Brimson has been named as jersey number 18. Mo Fotuaika is out due to State of Origin, and that opens up a spot for Philip Sami to come on to the interchange bench in jersey 17. Meanwhile, for the Parramatta Eels, Mitch Moses is out. Junior Polo's season might be over. I believe it might be a Liz Frank injury, so therefore Joe Offahengawi and RCG will be starting. That's opened up a spot for, I think, Luca Moretti on the interchange bench, and Bryce Cartwright and Sean Lane are coming off that interchange bench as well. And such was his debut last week. Charlie Geimer starts in jersey 13. Jermaine Hopgood's season is over, and the way that Geimer did play last weekend, he was like he was shot out of a cannon, basically. He was enormous. And coming in for Mitch Moses is Dejan Arce. He will be the halfback. Brown will remain as the 5/8, and also making his debut on the wing because Sean Russell copped, I think, an injury, I believe it was, is the debutant Lorenzo Mulatalo. Lorenzo Mulatalo being the younger brother of Ronaldo Mulatalo, so congratulations to him. And this game between the Titans and Eels, over the years, it's produced a bit of spice. They've been exciting, and I got a feeling it'll be much of the same. But to be honest with you, it's the Titans who are more informed than Parramatta. They can't take the Eels too lightly, of course. They're still a very dangerous side. For patches of games, they when they get the momentum, they just go and cross field. They're covering the entire paddock. But I think the Titans have just shown a little bit more Milo. So I'm going to go the Gold Coast Titans to win this game 1-12. And the second game on Super Saturday is from Suncorp Stadium, the Broncos versus the Dragons. And won't there be a lot of eyes on this Brisbane Broncos side this Saturday? This is a must-win game, but it pits their B-string side, basically. It's a B-string match, but this Broncos side, they got to get activated again for sure, since they're on a 5-game losing streak. Tristan Saylor is the fullback for the Broncos. Reece Walsh out for Origin. Katoni Staggs returns from a personal reason. Josh Rogers is the halfback. Jock Madden last weekend did a hamstring injury, so Josh Rogers has got the bull by the horns for the next few weeks until Adam Reynolds returns. Corey Jensen and Willison, the front row pairing. Jordan Ricky returns from suspension, and Tyson Smoothie is the lock. I don't know about that. Blake Moser, Hetherington, Karapani and Tapa'u is the interchange bench. Going into St. George Illawarra Dragons team list now, Michaeli Ravalawa returns to the fold for the first time in I think maybe 2 months. So he's on the wing again, and it's Jesse Marshke that will be partnering Kyle Flanagan since Hunt is out on Origin duty. Jaden Sewer has been named in the second row. I think he's going to be in for a huge game. He's going to want to take out a bit of his frustration since he didn't get selected for Origin game number 3. And then the interchange reads Hame Sele, Leilua Couchman, and Ben Murdoch Masilla. I know that Hunt and Lomax are out, but goodness me, I really like that forward pack for the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I really do. The question, I know, even though he's not the halfback, Kyle Flanagan, mate. Oh man, this is your time to shine, and I don't know who's got the better of the forward of the back line, I should say, when it comes to Broncos and Dragons. You still got class in Stags, Mariner, Mam, Arthurs, but it's a workhorse sort of environment for the Dragons. So I think going into this game, the Broncos have the better back line, but it's the Dragons who have the better forward pack. But it's Ezra Mam that I think is the better of the halves, and this is a game where he needs to stand up. And conversely, it's Tyrell Sloan that desperately needs to stand up for the Dragons if they want to win this game. Same too with Kyle Flanagan, but Sloan's got to show a little bit more, I reckon. Oh, this is so difficult to tip, man. I've just got to go the Broncos. I've got to go the Broncos. They're at home, and surely they're not going to go on a 6-game losing streak. I'm going to go Brisbane 1-12. And the final game of round 19 is from Four Pines Park, Manly versus Newcastle. Manly are $1.40 favourites, and the Knights are approximately $3. That's pretty big, and these two teams coming into this weekend are the most affected by injury and/or Origin. So going into the Manly Seagulls now, we'll start from the start. Tom Trbojevic, that is the fullback. Saab and Hopewati, Lehigh Hopewati, are the wingers. Talau and Garrick are the centres. Luke Brooks and Jamie Humphreys are the halves combination. I think this is Humphreys' debut game, so congratulations to him. Kind of surprising Brooks wasn't named as halfback, but we move forward. So forward pack now is Sipley, Simpkin, and Aloye. Olakawatu, Lawton, and Nathan Brown starts in jersey 13. The interchange reads Falalo, Chan Kum Tong, Bullymore, and Waddell. Besides Ethan Bullymore, that's not a very big looking bench. I don't know anything about this Falalo, with all due respect to the young man. This might be his first grade debut as well. To me, however, that doesn't look like a very big bench, with all due respect to Mr. Falalo. Going into the Newcastle Knights now, Sharp is at fullback. Matt Papalangi is one of the wingers, and Greg Marzu remains on the other wing. Lucas and Thomas Kant are the two centres. Boy howdy, I thought maybe Kant was more of a second row option from memory, just from memory. And then the halves pairing is Price and Hastings. The forward pack, Saifidi, Thompson with Crossland being the hooker. Frizzell, Kai Pearce-Paul, and Adam Elliott is the back row. Elliott returns after, I think it was a concussion the week before. And then the interchange reads Brayley, Saifidi, Brodie Jones, and Matt Croker. Flip a coin. Legitimately flip a coin. Turbo is obviously the man to watch here. But I thought last week at centre, he didn't do a hell of a lot. He didn't really do much at all, to be perfectly honest. But Manly still got the win against North Queensland. But then again, that's him working off the rust. You do sort of take it easy on him. Oh boy. Flip a coin. For the longest time, it felt like Newcastle may have come into this game and won this one, but they've hit form. Ponga came back and instantly got popped into Origin. Best into Origin again now. It's one of the reasons why, to a degree, I kind of dislike Origin in a way. I still get around it. They're great games, but you unfortunately pay a price in clubland when you're informed, don't you? And Newcastle Knights, man, I picked them in 9th at the start of the year. I said that I think they'll just miss out on the 8, but fair dinkum, whilst it wasn't terribly convincing against the Raiders, they did have a lot of drop ball and whatnot. It was against a desperate Raiders side in Canberra. I'd be looking over my shoulder if I was a team inside the top 8 that was just clinging on. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge, Cowboys. Or I think the turbo factor is going to push me over the edge. I'm going to tip Manly. I've wanted to tip Knights for a couple of weeks since looking at this fixture. But I'm going to tip Manly in this one. Not convinced. Have no idea what's going to happen in this game. Alrighty, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for the continuous support. We've got the NRLW just around the corner. There is a trial game happening this weekend. Content's still going to be coming in from me. So again, thank you very much for sticking by me throughout some pretty wild times in my life. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Adios.